the globalized space, it is getting smaller. We are going borderless. We are figuring things out faster than you could ever imagine. Innovation is borderless, boundless. And when you talk about people, people have always been built differently. They speak differently and they lead differently. To feature a great leadership story of how she has been making and creating leaders. It's my pleasure to have Elissa Bennett with us. She runs her own company called as EB Bennett Media, wherein she has been almost in the space for more than 13 years now, helping her clients with a very simple drunk monkey strategy, which I love, we talked about, is leads that you love. So she would always help you get leads that you love. She has had some crazy success stories of having people go from 30K to 300K, 125 to 250, and more than $1 million in revenue for her clients, which is crazy. And also, she's launching her own membership. So if anyone wants to know more about it, we'll be happy to talk about it as we go on. Thank you so much, Alyssa, for joining us. It's been a pleasure to host you over here with us at Founders Across Borders.
Thank you for having me. It was so fun to get the chance to speak to you the other day, and thanks for inviting me to be on the podcast. Thanks to LinkedIn.
Oh, absolutely, yes. To get more understanding about leads, that, the motto that you always say that it's the easiest way that you can talk to someone, the clearer you can talk to someone. So, how did you get the idea of solving the lead problem for people?
My background is sales and marketing. So I was a marketing communications advertising major in college. I worked for IBM in sales. I've always been in sales. At IBM at the time, if you were a company that didn't have IBM coming in to your company, you could get in trouble basically. So that's the best source of leads you can have, where you have to show up at the client office, if that makes sense. They're expecting you to be there, right?
Yeah.
And then I have run the gamut of every kind of sales you can think of, inside sales. I launched, I'm not sure if you're familiar with Paul Mitchell hair care brand.
No, I know about this. Yes, I've heard about it.
Yes. Okay. So I launched the co-owner Angus Mitchell, his
Oh,
Beverly Hills salon brand and education company, where we had no clients. So in 12 hours of launching a online ad in 2009, filled out 400 plus seats. So
wow.
definitely, brick and mortar is wonderful, but if you can get online, even if you are a brick and mortar, that's even better. So when I had the opportunity to launch my own agency, I started with email marketing. And it was compared to LinkedIn, something just gave me the idea. Something just said LinkedIn. So I
Right.
started checking into it. And those conversations, immediately you could get connected to the person that you were talking to. They knew what this was about. All the opportunities that come through that channel versus email was what I started with. And I was 80% booked and it was doing fine. But as the salesperson getting on those calls, it was the third or fourth call before they stopped saying, who are you? What's this about? So in regards to being the person that's going to even get on the call, the ROI for
Right.
your time and your emotions. I mean, some people are really sensitive. If someone says they're not interested, a lot of my clients will follow up with their leads for them just because they can't stand one person to say no. And I think that's a gift, when you can sift and sort and people can self-select if you have a drunk monkey strategy in place, which is kind of a joke from our last call. But basically what it says is explain as clearly as you can to a drunk monkey. If they can get it, then your ideal client can get it in the 3 seconds we have of their time. So dialing in that LinkedIn page to speak to your ideal client, what's important to them versus what we think is important to them, because we look at our clients differently than they look at themselves. What were do you remember when we had the conversation before about your organization, and it was a lot of really big important words that probably with
Right.
your peers or yourself you would have resonated with, but an ideal client, maybe they just want to quit their job and have a money revenue stream versus all these other marketing terms. So that's the idea around Junk Monkey.
No, that's absolutely full of clarity. It's because so many times, so many marketers or companies like to use jargons and they say that we are going to solve your life in this way, that way. All they just wanted to do was lose weight. And if you now are giving them with, like, 100 supplements, and they are like, you will build muscles, they're like, I don't care about muscles. I just want to lose 10 pounds so that I put in my wedding dress. That's all.
Right.
That's all I want.
Right, right. So yeah, keep it simple. Basically, keeping it simple. And if you think about sort of if we go back to the email versus LinkedIn idea, you can position that LinkedIn page to, talk about that weight loss. And then also people can see all the people that have had success in the recommendations, the testimonial section of your LinkedIn page. So it's all this know, like, and trust that can go along with that message going out that makes it
Hmm.
that much more powerful. So just from the ROI perspective of not having to pay for ads, we do recommend at a certain point, once you start to scale past six figures, that you retarget your traffic because it's the least expensive way, ad spend wise, to get in front of your clients. But if you're just starting out, or if you don't want to spend any money on ads at all, um, organically, LinkedIn for a B2B business conversation, it's just the best. If you're spending a bunch of time going to networking events and that's working for you, why not create an online version of that and have that give you even more leads as well. So it's just worked well for 10 years and it hasn't changed. So we're still doing it and people are still having, building their business that
Wait.
way.
So, according to you, I mean, as you've talked about LinkedIn, but right now we see so many other platforms. We have Meta ads, and even LinkedIn has its own ads, and there are so many platforms out there.
Mhm.
Which platform, according to you, is the best platform for lead generation or targeting leads? Like, people say that go to these places wherein your client or wherein your avatar, the person you are targeting, hangs out the most. Now, they may hang out on Instagram as well. There are so many
Mhm.
platforms. How do you decide that this is the best lead gen platform for me?
It's based on the person, actually. So let's say you are addicted to TikTok.
Yeah.
I'm a little addicted to TikTok right now, so I'm probably going to start posting over there soon. Um, Whatever you are attracted to, whatever you think and feel, your ideal client is going to be attracted to you and want you to stay true to that. So, for instance, some people, they're from New York and they want you to get to the point. Other
Yeah.
people are from the South and they want you to build this huge, humongous relationship before anything happens. I think there's a happy medium with both of those. You
Yeah.
want to be polite, and you do want to build a relationship, but come on. You're not going to become best friends with every single lead that you're reaching out to. And those leads don't have the time for that. And that's my philosophy, right? So I'm going to get to the point. I'm going to get to the point, and on LinkedIn, that's been working for me so well. People are already thinking about business on LinkedIn. So for me, that's the best place. So when someone that I'm talking to help, they also understand that right away. Great. Let's not put you over on Instagram because you think that that's the right place. But if you're on Instagram and you've got a health and fitness situation and you're generating leads and conversations, that's great. Once you scale that up to the most that you can do, then let's look at another platform, maybe LinkedIn or another platform. So, where do you resonate? What feels right to you? And then, of course, you need someone that can help you with the strategy. So, it's not just that a platform is going to give you anything. You've got to, lay those bricks down properly.
Yeah.
A drunk monkey bricks.
This will absolutely be the description of our podcast, that the drunk monkey marketing strategy: learn it or lose your business. No, but that's
Yeah.
specifically very interesting since you've been into this space and generating leads for people. What I mean, and you've scaled like almost more than $1 million revenue for your clients. What is the best strategy that you think works for a client if they are starting from zero or under 10K as a monthly revenue?
Um, well, I'm not sure that I'm going to answer this properly, because that's a really big question. But you have to have a marketing budget, right?
Hmm.
So if you don't have a marketing budget, I've got a freebie. And my freebie, what it does is it helps you to understand that drunk monkey language. It helps you to look at what your clients are saying. I've created an AI prompt, and you can put your clients' words. They sent you a text. Oh my gosh, you're I can't believe what you did for me, da, 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 these results, whatever they
Right,
said.
right, right.
Put that into the AI, and then it creates a sort of spreadsheet of talking points that your clients mentioned, so they would be attracted to if you rolled that into some copy. So once you have that, then you can create the top of your LinkedIn page makeover, which I had somebody go through just that freebie. There's 5 steps: profile picture, headline, banner, template for the banner, and then the AI prompt to get that copy dialed in to be really sticky.
Right.
In a week, they generated 5 figures just from going through the freebie, just from dialing in with those words. Because what happens is we get so in our head. Back to drunk monkey. I'm going to get so sick of drunk monkey. I'm never going to talk about it again after this call. But if we are in our own head thinking about how we're going to help our client and the magic we're
Hmm.
going to create for them, they're not there. They're right here. They don't need a LinkedIn lead generation strategy with AI and yada yada and sfingledy spangledy. They need leads, but actually that they love, right? And that's what my clients have said to me. Oh my gosh, these are leads that I love, because the person is interested in them. They're interested in having a conversation about the topic. Where if somebody was on Facebook and doing ads, they
Hmm.
could get 100 leads, and they might, if they're not following up with those leads really fast, people might not even know who they are. Again, who are
Yeah.
you? What's this about? Why are you calling me? They
Yeah. Yeah.
just
Yeah.
5 minutes ago filled out a form on Facebook. But and so yeah, so I've done every kind of lead you can think of, and there's a different lead for that works really great for a different time. But again, if you're just starting out, what do you resonate with? So what
Yeah. So do
platform?
do you think the platform, like being platform centric, is really important? Because I, as a founder, anyone as a founder, cannot focus their cannot direct their focus on each and every platform. Let's say they know that they get a few leads from Instagram if they do reels like CTA specific, that DM me this and I'll send you it in your DM. That's
Mm,
one kind of activation. For LinkedIn, it's one-on-one outreach. You're connecting with people, going on their
mm,
DMs, chatting with them. That is one aspect. And then there's meta ads, and that, like, a lot of things.
yeah,
So what do you think? I mean, should you experiment with 2 or 3 platforms at a time to
no,
know which platform
no,
works with you?
no, 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 no. Like if you had a business, are you going to build your business in every section of your business at the same time? That's going to spread you out thin so that you're, marginal versus focusing on one key thing,
Yeah.
which, right? We're not going to build out all of our systems to hire a team to help us scale when what we need to do is get one client and get them happy,
Hmm.
right? So what step are you on? So if you're going to launch with multiple, I've got a client who's doing this right now, and he's, a marketer's dream, but because he just wants everything, but he's doing it so fast that he's just blowing through money, which he's got the budget, but I mean, I hate to see people waste money. So, I'm gonna do this and this and this and this and this and this, and then like half of it is garbage. Where if you did a slow and deliberate, do one thing, get some strength out of that. Once that's autonomous, it's working. You've got a team in place for that. Go to the next thing. Unless you have a marketer that can juggle all those balls for you. I mean, if you've got the budget, then you could have somebody focusing on each one of those things and building them out for you simultaneously, but it doesn't make sense to have three icebergs that you're trying to keep them all in before anything's solid. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, it is focus on one thing and then dial down on other things, which
Yeah.
also is important to know that okay, this is what you want to do and stop the ideas as well. I think as people or clients who come to you, they would say that okay, I want to do this as well, I want to do that as well. How do you help them? Because they have like 10 things that they have to do, and five things might bring them revenue, five
Uh-huh.
things would just be waste of time. So how do you guide them, or what do you talk about that okay, these are not the 10 things that you should be doing, but these are the things that you should be focusing on instead?
Yeah, it's therapy. It's therapy. So, and some people are ideas people and they're not execution people. So know who you're talking to when you're advising someone. And maybe for them, going after 10 things is the right thing to do after you sort of have a conversation about it.
Hmm.
But you also advise, right? So whenever I'm building a strategy for a client, I'm going to say this is how it works. The client, your client, I'm the marketer, you in this scenario are the client, and
Hmm.
then the external client gets 3 votes. You, the client, get 2 votes for what you say. I get only 1 vote. So the end client gets 3 votes, and we together, as two people trying to help that person, we also have 3 votes. So whatever's most important to them is what we're going to focus on in order, if that makes sense.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that does make sense.
So just whatever way you can get through to your client, and then let them know that this is what I recommend. This is your goal, and based on that goal, these are the steps that I recommend. And you can absolutely choose to disregard, but this is what I recommend and this is why. And so as long as you've shared that information, it's their company. They can, if they want to, take a $50,000 marketing budget and throw 25,000 of it away, that's their choice. But you just have to inform, and then they can make an adult choice.
Oh yeah, that is sensible to
Yeah,
like
because you
tell
got to
them.
take your energy back, or else you're going to kill yourself, right? You can't care more than they do. You can only give them the information, and then it's their choice.
Oh,
Because you have
yeah,
to,
that.
yeah, you have to live it to work another day. Otherwise, you'll just be so depressed about seeing the things that people are doing. And some some people do have a little bit of a sabotage situation happening in them. So that's why a lot of times, if you can go after a larger ticket um, opportunity, there it's going to be easier for you because that person's gone through that period of scaling up where a lot of people will self-sabotage. So
As you've talked about high ticket apps, I mean, I do agree with the fact that you must not mess your head with people that mess your head more, is because you have limited energy to help limited people who genuinely seek help, or those who genuinely need help with. And as you are navigating this high ticket space, or if you are reaching out to people who can pay you the most so that you don't have to make a $10 product and or $100 product and sell it to 100 or
right.
1,000 people, rather make like a $2,000 product and do it 10 people. So
Mm.
how do you find those kind of clients for any service or product that you offer? Isn't it sometimes like you have to knock 1,000 doors first to see that, okay, this is the first person who said yes to my high ticket?
Um, you have to get there mentally. So it's a lot of mindset, and yes, it is a certain number of people will equal a conversion. So for instance, I had when I was first starting my business, my first client that I brought in was a no fee client. And then my next was 700, and then my next was 1,500, and then my coach said, "You are a friggin' idiot, Elissa. People are doing like a tenth of what you're doing, and they're charging 5,000 for it." And this was years ago. um, you need to raise your prices to 5,000 right now.
Prices.
And I'm like, okay, I'm going to listen to you, coach, right? You can take the feedback in, but then you also have to execute on it. And I wasn't there yet. So what happened is mentally in my head, I was at my value is 1500 when my value was probably more like 5 to 8,000. Um, because people doing way less were charging 5,000. So of course you can sell it for 5,000, idiot Elissa. So so what happened was because I wasn't there yet, I spent 2 months selling nothing, right? My mind was at 1500. So I had to do little baby steps, baby step, baby step, and then you get to that larger ticket.
Point.
Yeah. So you have to be there mentally for it to close. And then you have to just understand what your numbers are. So, at that point, my
Mm-hmm.
conversion was going to be zero forever. So I had to figure out something else to do. And then my conversion was whatever it was at that time. So, yes, you can say, with my one LinkedIn account, I'm reaching out to 50 to 70 people a day, and I've got, let's say, 10 booked calls a week, and of that, a statistical average would be that you're going to close 20% on average. But you get to know what your own numbers are, and then you can decide how much money you're going to make. If it's one account equals this many clients a month, then double it for two accounts, right? So it's just really basically a math equation once you understand your business. So a lot of people think that leads, well, some people think that leads will create a business, but no, you have to have a business first, and then you can reverse engineer how you got those clients, and then we can scale that up on an online conversation. So
So with this, you're saying that pricing is more over a mindset thing instead of an offer based thing. Like I can offer you a lot of value, and someone else might offer you the same value as well. However, I mean, since I'm better at what I've been doing, I've got better testimonials, I can easily charge high if I am mentally there to charge
yeah,
high.
yeah. If you understand and feel that value in your bones, when you get on a call with somebody, they're going to feel the same thing, right? If I'm at 1500 and my coach tells me 5,000 and I'm like, I'm at 1500. Wait, what? How am I going to, right? And so then when you get on a call, even though your 5,000 is way better than everybody else's 5,000, you're having little scared, blink, 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 1,500 thoughts that come across. People can feel fear, right? If you are going to hire someone to help you, and even if 5,000 is nothing to you, you don't want somebody that smells of a little bit not sure, right? You don't know why it's off. But yeah, if you're feeling like 200,000 is a steal, these people would be idiots not to close on it. I should be charging 500,000. It's ridiculous. Then yeah, go with that, because you feel it in your bones. You know what's going to happen.
Wow. I'm just curious to know what has been the highest one person sale that you've ever made. Like you've charged this fee upfront and the person agreed for that.
Well, so if you keep in mind who I am already, that I started out at free, and then I went to 1,500, 5,000 is um, sort of where I've stayed for a while, but we're offering premium branding. We're offering landing pages for retargeting. So basically, what's happening is we're generating all of this activity that's pushing people to websites, right? It's organic, there's no ad spend, but the least expensive way to get back in front of your own traffic, which only 6% of people are going to be ready to buy from you today. So if you're connecting and growing a network, they're going to be going checking out your website. So if you have a pixel on your website, you can retarget them. And the great thing about retargeting versus pay per click, which could be like a $5,000 monthly agency
Yeah.
fee, and couple thousand for the ad spend. Retargeting, we can get that down to like 1,000 to set it up, $150 a month fee, and then maybe $20 a day on retargeting because people aren't even clicking because they already know you. It's your traffic already. But what happens is when you do retargeting, they're like, oh my gosh, she's everywhere. She must be so successful. And that's the point, is to be confident and be out there and get out in front. So now we're doing premium branding, which if you look at my website, that it has gone through that process as
Yep.
well, which would be colors, fonts, logos, consistency in branding, having your same colors, fonts, logos, look and feel, and sort of message, brand messaging across platforms. It improves your conversions by 23% because there's trust there, there's consistency, right? When people first meet you, they don't know you yet. So we've got the premium branding, we've got the conversion pages and the pay per click, and then we're also in about a week or two, I'm going to be launching premium content, which is 100 pieces of content a month.
Wow.
So what's happening is we've got a really strong um, grow your network strategy and get leads on the calendar strategy. That's the core strategy. And then with all of those pieces tagged on, we could get you up to 15,000 with all of those things. And then there's, recurring. So if you needed more than just 100 pieces of content, it's 3,300 for the 100. And so, we can go up there. I'm taking on the business structure right now is I'm taking on my core premium clients,
Hmm.
and then we're doing membership with everybody else, because the time and attention that I put into each one of my clients is so much that it's not a hugely scalable side of my business right now, because I like to have my hands in it. The experience is the fun part for me. So the membership
Hmm.
will be able to take a lot more people through and get,
This.
yeah. I mean, even with the freebie, for someone to just go through the steps in the freebie and get 5 figures in a week, that's
Yeah.
awesome. So I'd love to help more people, but also keep doing what I love, which is to get my hands in some people that want a more premium experience.
Oh, absolutely. And I think that's where, and that it's so much like it's differentiating an average motel to a luxury hotel. Like if you enter the hotel, the fragrance, the hospitality, and everything that they offer is high quality, and you have to pay that for getting those services. You could also go to a normal place, and they won't even bother look at you and be like, yeah, some another guest, and we're gonna take care of them. So I think the how any brand or the experience that we can deliver to a client, that they feel that they are someone there, that you psychologically hit on those nerves that okay, you are someone and this is specifically catered to you. I think that feeling is unmatched, and that's what separates your brand or your experience from all the people out there, even if they're doing the same thing, if they have the same offer or anything around that.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's And also with AI coming up, we're using AI to replicate a lot of the things that I do for my premium clients in the do it yourself version and the done with you membership, so that
Yep.
somebody can take a strategy that I've before AI, it took me 2 hours to explain it and people still didn't get it.
Yep.
Now it's that actual prompt is in the freebie in lesson two, where you can put what your client said into the AI and it comes out with this is these are the words that will attract more clients to you. So, giving that same sort of I care about you and your results, what I'm doing for the premium clients, putting that into the do it yourself version is very important to me, because I mean, I want Hermes. I want the Chanel. I want the most premium. And I love that, the relationship piece, that even though we are using AI tools to execute, we're doing it as humans that actually care. And
Right.
that's something that AI can't replace.
Hmm. That is something that I absolutely agree with. That the experiences would always stay as long as you're humans and you're on planet Earth. AI cannot replicate or take away that experience from you. I mean, it can enhance it in terms of like the user experience, or you if you're using a tool or if you're using something, but it still would be, barriers, right? Okay, this is premium AI, this is your normal AI. Like even ChatGPT, O3 is so different than O4. Most people just feel, oh, O4 is best. No, use O3, you would need to know.
I'm so sick of all those versions. Just give me the best all the time. I'm paying for the best. I want the best. Don't mess with me. Yeah. 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 We should tell them how to run their business. OpenAI, I think.
But I've loved
Yeah.
how you shaped this entire, like the journey of working across clients and the strategies and everything. Since it's been more than a decade that you've been doing this, what has worked out the best for you that you never went out of business, or even if when there would have been months wherein you were not converting, you were persistent enough to keep going on. Like you knew that I just don't want to go back to IBM, or you could have landed a job at any MNC in at that point in time. Even today you can. So why every day you still choose to build your business and not do something else? Or probably like a high paying job which like fixed 20-30K a month.
Well, it's an intuitive pull. So something just told me LinkedIn, and I listened and went that way. And then at that time, I was reselling other people's services. Some And then I had a client that could have used what I was doing to build my own book. So I offered that to them. It's just listening when you have that little thing in your head that says, um, you know, don't leave the house right now. And then there's a wreck down the street or whatever. It's just listening. So for me personally, it's really important to listen to my intuition, and it goes against, my family would much rather not have me be an entrepreneur. And it's a lifestyle thing. So when I'm dog sitting for my mom who's traveling, I'd like to be helpful to my family. And, when people get sick, I'm able to be there. I remember my grandfather passed away, and
I'm so
and it was
sorry.
a really big deal that my mom's job let her take time off. It was like she was just so grateful. And I'm like, that is ridiculous. I don't want to have to raise my hand and ask if I can go potty to some business owner situation to make it a little absurd. But I never thought that was normal, even when I was a kid, that you had to, if I have to go to the bathroom, I know where the bathroom is. I can, stand up and go there. So just being able to manage my own life feels good to me. And when jobs are so different now, you know, college is different, jobs are different. When I first started at IBM, they fired 80 people in my department. The day
Oh,
that I was going in the door, 80 people were going out. And you know, there's no nothing is guaranteed. But for me personally, I have the type of personality where an entrepreneurial, following that, what feels like the right thing to do for me is a good thing for me. For some people, a job is good. They need to have that reliable income, and the exchange of what they're giving up, it's good for them. So it's just something that's always really worked for me, to have a free and flexible life where there's not a financial ceiling. So, if 300,000 is the most that you can make, and you live in Southern California where I do, you'll be lucky to pay for food when you retire at that amount of money. I mean, it's just, some places are so ridiculous now. I mean, how much are eggs? They were $10 at some point. So, yeah, I don't know. Anyways, to
oh,
me, it's more freedom. So,
I love how you've mentioned freedom of doing things, and even to understand it's freedom to make decisions based on the way you want to make decisions. We always feel that autonomy is, I mean, even if you're working for a client, sometimes you have to adjust based on your client's requirements, but that's still your choice. No one is imposing that. And we as humans always want to feel that autonomy wherein no one is imposing something on us, that this is you have to do, this is something you have to do is because I have said you have to do, not because your brain is telling you to do this. And it's like, I mean, I still know that is because there was some time I was part of a place and I went to the washroom. It used to be like a 9 to 5 thing, and or more sometimes you have to like, overtime was worshipped like anything, and you're not paid for overtime, but it's worshipped. So
Yeah.
I was like, I spent 20 minutes, of course, personally, like nature's call. So I get out of the washroom, and the HR is looking at me, and she's like, "Oh, the boss came and said hi to someone." I said, "Weird, I was not in the cabin." She said, "Where were you?" I said, "I was in the washroom." And my hands are wet is because there was no tissue. So she's like, "But whom did you say hi to?" I said, "I have no idea. I mean, I was not there." She's like, "What were you doing?" I'm like, told you I was in the washroom. What else do you want to know? I mean, do you literally want to know what I was doing in the washroom? The next time, come along, I'll tell you. Like,
That's exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, I remember going to get a sandwich, and this woman that felt like she could asked me what I was doing there, and I'm like, I'm getting a friggin' sandwich, person. Yeah. This is my sandwich hole, and this is my sandwich. Have a nice day.
So I love that, thought of being like having freedom and then creating your own freedom by things that you want to do. So I love that. Which brings us to an interesting segment that we do. It's called as 7 questions to fame. So I'd be shooting 7 rapid fire questions. Let me know once you're ready.
Go ahead.
Okay. What has been the one golden strategy that has always worked for your clients?
Well, I mean, I feel like I should go deeper, but it's just always been LinkedIn lead gen. So what I do is I get their core message dialed in on LinkedIn. We figure out who their ideal clients are. Um, we launch with messaging to see if our best guess is correct. If the client doesn't isn't completely dialed in on their business, then we simply split test and optimize until we are me and the client we're both happy with the results. So always, because of the ad spend free situation there, when you're trying to figure out your niche and your market and your plan and everything, if you can do it without spending money on ads and having it in the best converting place for a B2B conversation, it's been a no-brainer for 10 years consistently. And keep in mind, I've worked with every kind of lead that there is, and I've even seen companies go out of business because their lead source was no longer viable. So I think it's important to, like you said, what are all the platforms we should be on? I think you should get one platform working, which for me and my clients has 100% been LinkedIn. There was one client where it was Instagram. And the reason why is because his entire team was so into Instagram that they couldn't see the LinkedIn leads as being good. They basically abandoned them. There was a ton of leads that were like, "Hey, can we get on a call? Can we get on a call?" And I'm like, guys, that's why we follow up with leads now, is because I'm selling a service that people aren't following up on. So except for that one client who had a team that was obsessed with Instagram, so they just abandon all of the stuff we were generating for
Mhm.
them. Everyone for the last 10 years, 100%. It's a B2B networking, right? And you can do it in private. You can do it in the DMs, where some people, if they have jobs or other business commitments, they can't be so public about things. You can go undercover and start having these conversations to, dial in who that ideal client is as you're starting to grow and scale your business. So, I mean, it's sorry, it's basic, and it's hasn't changed in 10 years.
Yeah. No, it's beautiful, and I actually love hearing to that. This also reminds me of the fact that like as you mentioned that you need to be quick in response, like if you have these Instagram leads or any leads, like I was a
Oh,
part of the school group,
yeah,
and I registered, and they asked for the number. As I was accepted, I get a call from the founder himself of the group, and he's
that's
like, "Hey Uta, I just
awesome.
wanted to check in with you about what you've been building." It was like a short 10-minute call, and it was as I was selected, that rapport building that he's doing for the first 200, 300 customers which are in his
Brilliant.
group,
Yeah.
for converting them for his high ticket offer, that is his
Yeah.
mastermind group. I love that. It's because, for example, if you and I are connecting, and if you like, I have your number and I just give you a call that, hi, you signed up for this, I just checked out what spiked your interest, how could I help you? So that, how could I be of value to you? And I think these conversations genuinely, and it's not that you're making best friends with your clients at all, it's not like you're being friends, but you are building a professional relationship that is that would somewhere lead to a subtle or a very important value exchange between two people.
Well, if these people are potential mastermind people, and once you join the group, you're not in the mastermind yet, and you get a call from the mastermind leader, that is a brilliant sales strategy because what you're showing is so much value right up front. And that's the whole point, is to treat people the best that you can. Get your messaging dialed in so somebody doesn't have to go look in your contact section to find your three different websites, to go to all three of them, to go to the second page at the very, very bottom to figure out, oh, you generate leads that I love. Great. Nobody's going to do that. So I love that, along with, the drunk monkey, uh, dynamite.
So I've loved how your answers have shaped up, and the next question goes like, what is one advice that changed the way you do businesses?
What is one piece of advice that changed the way I do business? Well, raising my prices, that was one. So I think I think people that are heart-centered entrepreneurs that, would not be considered narcissistic or sociopathic sometimes are a little bit overgiving. And um,
Hmm.
what overgiving actually does is keeps you from giving. So it
Hmm.
puts you into a poverty situation where you can't sell an Hermes level service because you're not charging enough to have all of the bells and whistles that you could offer to a client. So realizing that, for instance, I have a client. She paid $1,500 for the strategy that I built her, that probably has brought her in a half a million so far.
Oh my god.
So you have to not try and get a piece of that, but not price yourself so you can only help a couple people and then you got to go work at Starbucks to get healthcare insurance. Do you know what I'm saying? It's kind of stupid, but so yeah, raise your prices, charge what you're worth. And it's not just charge what you're worth and raise your prices, but have your prices in alignment with how much you want to help the world, right? You might want to be a philanthropist. You might want to help a million people with your service, and to scale up and to do all the things, you need money to be able to help other people. So, yeah, unless you're on a trust fund and you're just having fun with it, which you should definitely have fun, but you're not addressing the dollars. So yeah, charge as much as you can, comfortably for yourself, and then raise it if you're an overgiver.
Hmm. This is one of the major blocks that you need to consider, which is like business is not charity. Do charity outside of your business, not charity with your business.
Well, and you can even, you kind of have to fight with yourself even further than that. That it's not charity, but you literally cannot do charity if you're doing that, because you're going to help this many people and you're not going to give them as good of a service because you're going to be totally wiped out and stressed out. You're not going to be present, giving them all that you could give. And then you're going to run out of money and you're not going to be able to do the charity that you want to do. Yes, you can give and you can do all those things, but you have to um, charge initially and build that structure for whatever philanthropy you do want to do. So, yeah.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, put the
Thank
oxygen
you for
mask
sharing
on the
this.
mother first, then the babies. So, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so if the next question is like, if you had to choose between these, what will you choose? Money, fame, influence, impact.
Money. Yeah. And then what does impact mean? So that you're helping people. Um, in I'm living in a I'm living on planet Earth, and so do I want to be a famous dead person because I starved to death? No. Do I want to be a famous person at all? Absolutely not. Impact sounds nice, but what's the definition of that? And then a dead homeless person because they had no money to feed themselves or get health care. So yeah, money. It's. I'm living in
Yeah.
the real world. So
Totally, totally. And I love how you're talking about it, is because I've seen so many people just don't want to talk about or have conversations around money. So I love this direct take on this.
I know people think money is a bad thing. It's just an exchange of effort and energy, right? If I cut your hair and you mow my lawn, is that a bad thing? No, we just exchanged one thing for another thing. So yeah, I don't think money
Yeah.
is bad, and I think there's a lot of programming out there to make people think that it is bad, but it's just an exchange of energy. So yeah.
Love the take. And the next question goes like, what has been something that you have feared the most and you want to change that?
Um, So it's all around money for me. Money is freedom to me. So, and when you get older and retirement age and social security and all of those kinds of things, and just making sure that there's enough money that it outlasts the time element. So, yeah.
Hmm.
So, having money struggles to me is not a place that I would prefer to be. I'd rather have other struggles like getting TikTok to convert or something like that. That's more of a fun struggle to me.
I love, yeah. It's like I think the major problem that people should solve is a money problem, because then you can tackle. I mean, once you've solved that, the next set of problems that you're going to face are going to be
Yeah.
totally different. Like, very few people get a chance to solve those kinds of problems because most of the people are always stuck solving the money problem for
Yeah. If
themselves.
you're in survival, it's difficult to bring everything to the table, I think. So, yeah.
Absolutely. What is the legacy that you would like to leave the world with?
I prefer to touch each person individually versus like an overarching, I cured cancer or something like that. That would be cool if I stumbled on something like that. But my what my heart says to do is if I see someone, I've forced myself to give them whatever compliment I have. and sometimes it's a little uncomfortable. Like, I walk into this ice cream store and this guy's got the most incredible blue eyes I've ever seen on the planet. If it was on a baby or a grandma, I would go, oh my God, those are the most beautiful blue eyes. And you don't want people to think that you're hitting on them or want anything. And so you get uncomfortable and you don't share these things. But I think
Hmm.
it's important when you see something good to call it out and let people know. Um, like I had a call with someone recently, and there were some things that we were changing around about their environment, and I'm calling
Hmm.
out to the positive things, right? We forget that
Hmm.
everybody kind of is like a little child running around in the world, and as much as you can share with someone what you appreciate about them, what you see that seems positive in the context of whatever's going on, I think I think it really helps because, with the news, it has to focus on negative. We remember things six times better if they're negative. So we're constantly
Yeah.
getting all this programming. If you can share a little bit of positive with one person, you have no idea the ripple effect, the butterfly effect. So that's kind of what I do, is try and stay true to that. If I see something, say something, but in the positive, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, that absolutely does, and I love this take. Is honestly, we have been surrounded by so much of I mean, there's negativity out there already. Like, if you share an idea with someone, the first thing that they're gonna say is, "Oh, it's not gonna work." If you say that this is a revenue goal that you wanna make, the first thing that they're gonna say is, it's a little bit difficult. It is difficult, and we know that. Could you just say that? What if you could do that? Like, could you just help us be more delusional? Like, we know that we are delulu, but could you add on to this delulu more?
That's a good thing to say. And then also keep it to yourself. Oh my gosh. It's so hard not to get excited about what you're up to and want to share it with people. But sometimes I think it's a little better to share after the success. But if you're getting someone's help, you kind of have to. So, yeah. I hear what you're saying. I know that in that positive energy, it is contagious and it's like fuel. So, yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And the next question goes like, what has been one habit that has always kept the momentum of you helping your clients go on?
Booking calls. I'm ready to
Hmm.
stop getting on calls, but also I can't ever stop getting on calls because it's oh, what's a good example? I don't know. Just think of a super wealthy person that doesn't have to do anything, but maybe they're sort of a figurehead of a company or something like that. If they like went undercover and worked in their stores or whatever, just every once in a while, just to get their juices flowing, that's kind of what happens to
Yeah.
me getting on calls. So you never know who you're going to talk to, and that's what I love. Is like, I mean, we got on a call and now we're on a podcast, and now you're asking me
Yeah.
these really interesting questions that are getting me to think about things. So the opportunity that comes from these kinds of calls to me is something that, while I want to give it up because I want that time back, right? If I could get
Hmm.
5 to 10 hours a week back, how great would that be? But then also, as much as I want to scale with membership groups and everything else, I still want my core group of clients. And as much as I would like to get 5 to 10 hours a week back, those conversations that I have sometimes are so inspiring, enlightening, leads to other things. And I
Hmm.
can't predict, and I don't want to judge and say, oh, this person's gonna, you walk into a store and they think you can't afford, or that you
Yeah.
never would buy because you're that kind of person that never. that just looks all the time, that he has all the money in the world and he won't buy anything. Whatever the judgment is, I try and just get on my 5 to 10 calls a week, and then all sorts of magic happens. So
I love the answer is because sometimes us doing things without expectation or without that first sound of judgment can take us to places like not having that first filter that would this person be of a help, like just having, even if you're doing agenda meetings, you do it without a set expectation in your head, like this person could be a potential client or not, or it could be something else, but this is just a space for those 30 minutes or 15 minutes for you to know that connection, then realize where do you want to take things from that
yes,
point.
but let me caution and preface, if someone's newer in their business journey, not to just get on calls to get on calls. When you're getting on a call, there should be some sort of a clear point and sort of path, because some people will get on calls endlessly and nothing ever goes anywhere, and I'm not sure what's going on. There's a trust fund or something. But what happens is you're wasting kind of your time and the person's time that you're getting on the call with. If there is some sort of a point to it and people do have an interest, you can explore that, right? Just because of that time waster thing that happens. People think that they get on calls and the call is going to create the business, right? I think of sales like a train. You've got to get your engine dialed in. That to me would be a
Mm.
LinkedIn page that's really sticky to your ideal clients, and then some messages that are going out. And then the next thing is following up with the leads. With people that just get on, like there's this guy that told me, these people that don't want to buy from me, I'm going to make them buy. And he was spending all of his time like fighting with people. So having a
Yeah.
clear point and a goal to the call, I think, is important. And then if you got on 100 calls and nothing converted, I think then the next thing to do is to work with someone to qualify those leads better, and or on the back end, the sales part. You're somewhere in that car and the train is broken. Is it the people that are showing up to the call, or is it your ability to convert that call? Just trying not to waste people's
Yeah.
time. And also, if you're just getting on a bunch of calls and just going hi, yeah, I'm just developing relationships, it tells people you don't have any business. If you had business, you wouldn't have all that time to just be chilling on calls.
That makes a lot of sense. Absolutely. Like I just had this call with someone and they said that they want to work. And of course, I mean, like it was a 5 minute call and they said they already have a job and I'm looking for a freelance just because freelance gives me, like, I don't have to be on deadlines and this and that. I'm like, have you freelanced before? The person said, no, it's my first time. And I'm like, okay, your proof of work, what do you like to do? Instead of building a certain relationship on call, because it's very agenda specific, he knows I could be a potential client, or maybe someone I know could be a potential client. The person, I couldn't stand speaking with the person for
Oh,
five
wow.
minutes. Like I said, okay, my team would just get in touch with you. They would send an assignment, and the person is like, it's just going to be one assignment, right? So many people give 3 to 4 assignments, and I just don't want to do 3 to 4. I said, I don't know what kind of people you have worked with.
I don't do
I'm
windows. I
just gonna
don't do
give you.
floors. I don't do dishes. I don't do.
And I was like, "Oh, okay." So sometimes I feel that even if you're dropping on these calls with a very specific agenda, it is important to have people etiquettes or set the right base.
To have a
Like
clue.
you generally do not know. So yeah, I do agree with you on that. So, and the next question goes like, what are the top 3 books that you would recommend to
Oh my
anyone?
gosh, I'm so not a book person. I am a YouTube person. So I'm
Okay.
mindset and just like I'm researching constantly. I'm addicted to TikTok, and what I'll do is I'll find a topic and I'll go to TikTok and search that topic, and then I'll find experts, and then I'll go to YouTube, and then I'll just devour their content. I use AI to make abbreviations, like an outline of the YouTube video, and then I'll put that into AI and I'll use it to coach me. So I it's a different strategy than reading. What reading does for me is after 2 to 3 lines, I'm asleep. So reading is a sleeping pill for me. So mindset and health are my topics, and AI. I'm completely obsessed with AI. So yeah.
Wow, this is amazing. And so, what I mean, since you've talked about YouTube and not books, what would be the top three, or who would be the top three content creators that you follow?
I'm not into content creators actually, and I'm not into social media. Strangely, so what that means to me, I know it's very, what are you talking about? So I don't like what social media does to people emotionally when, like children, teenagers, and adults having seeing all of these images of what you're supposed to be and what you're supposed to do and having that warp people. I like
Right.
the utilitarian feature of being able to find fast news, which means as soon as something's happening, I can find it on TikTok. On YouTube, it's going to take weeks before it shows up. And so those are my two sort of informational sources. And I forgot the question. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, you were talking about you don't follow creators, or you need to do social media, so you don't have answer to the part of you not following a particular content creator per
Yeah.
se.
Yeah, I do. I just, um, to me, let me tell you the content creator I can't stand. And I normally don't go to the
Okay.
negative, but Mel Robbins. So Mel Robbins to me is so kind of like, well, first of all, she's stealing other people's content. So that's not cool. And and then she's very interested in being a successful content creator, and that's anti who I am. I'm very into helping people and doing what I'm guided to do and what's interesting to me. So when I see somebody wrapped up in that, like you said, would you prefer fame or would you prefer this or that? When I see somebody wrapped up in that, it's just like, and then I'm on to the next thing. It just doesn't feel right or authentic to me. Oh, actually, let me tell you who I love. Andrew Bustamante. He's got a freedom podcast. I think it's CIA spy something. Him and his wife are former CIA intelligence officers. And the way that he comes across so authentically would to me be the opposite of Mel Robbins. So yeah, he just popped into my head. I love him and his floofy hair that flicks back into the, he's just, he has no tooth. He's got a tooth gap thing.
Oh.
He's completely, this is who I am, and he's so grounded and so, um, his knowledge is so, um, he's just not halfway doing anything. He's very knowledgeable in what he speaks about, or at least he comes across that way.
Mm.
And
Wow,
he's
I
got a
love that.
$27 offer. So his $27 offer, I think with a monthly membership with 1,000 members, I think he said, I'm not great at math, but I think that's like $1 million a year business, just that part of it. And so then the revenue off of the ads on YouTube and yada yada. And then he's got some key premium clients that he helps as well. So, but yeah, the way that he comes across, I like people that don't seem like if the fame or the followers went away, that anything would be bad. To him, if he had 200 key people that he was helping really well, he would be happy. So I think when people get tied up into the fame and that whole thing, I mean, the way that celebrity culture is happening now where everyone's going down, I think just to be grounded in what is real and true for you and for your life is super important. So
Yeah, I think it is something to ponder about as well. And which brings me to the last question, that if right now we take away your social media, that is the LinkedIn that you have
Mhm.
built, your account, and any your freebie, like all the things that you've built, which exist right now on the digital
Mhm.
media, what would be your one message to the people out there?
So I don't understand why you're taking all that away. And so then um I don't know. My message would be Yukta's mean and she took all my toys away. That would be my message. Why did I get on this podcast? Totally ruined my life. I don't know why you're so mean to me. What's my message? My message is clarity. Message clarity is super important if you're trying to attract people to you. So since my freebie doesn't exist anymore, figure it out. Go beat up Yukta.
I will, I will literally have DMs asking for, now you need to give a freebie to us because you at least have it.
Yeah, yeah. Why are you doing this to people? I don't know.
Oh my god, that was a good laugh that we had. With that, that ends this segment that we have, the 7 questions. I have literally enjoyed understanding all of the aspects about how you also mentioned about being so authentic when you present your offer, when you present yourself. I think that's what the energy, or that's what attracts you to the ideal clients as well. Like there, I that's what my understanding is from this part of the conversation, that you can try to masquerade as much as you want or pretend to be whom you are not, but there would be a time wherein you just won't be able to pretend anymore. And either that would be a disservice to your client or disservice to what you're building.
There is literally no competition in the world if you can get and feel comfortable being yourself. And I mean, I even think that that's the life mission, is to be as much yourself, figure out who you are as you can, just as a life, the life goal, not a life goal, but the life goal. So as much as you can incorporate that into, you know, how you're helping people, and if you are in a position that being online is something that is going to help you help more people like me, an introvert who I'd rather be over here. um, so yeah, just dial it in and be authentic to yourself, and follow your if some inner voice is telling you to go this way, then check it out, and try not to be so scared that you're not showing up, or you're acting weird because you think that if you act this way, it's gonna, people are gonna respond well to it. They're gonna people know when you're being yourself, and it's so refreshing, and everyone's looking for that, starving for it.
Oh yeah. And since you've worked with a diverse audience in terms of people coming from different areas, different backgrounds, different countries, cultures, how have you navigated that space of tuning yourself into that energy, wherein you do not feel that there is a certain differentiator between the person that you and the person you are trying to address?
I think what you're asking me is, how do I connect with someone? Is that what you're saying?
Could be one part of it, yes. But that being said, not people those who are like born in states or maybe in South Carolina, but let's say are different from different cultures, like totally very culturally different, are maybe Hispanic, Latino, could be
Okay,
anything.
so I love different cultures. I grew up in the Pacific Northwest of the United States. And the way that the United States is set up is there's so many different cultures and places to live that are like, if you were in Europe, you would be like all over the map if you had been in these different places. So I had the pleasure of of moving to Georgia from the Pacific Northwest, West Coast, so super different cultures in high school. And at the time, Oprah was going to this town called Forsyth, and they had a slogan there: Forsyth stays white. And that was the first time I learned that the Ku Klux Klan was not the boogeyman. And
Oh.
my step grandfather, I had his last name, which is Italian at the time, and found out for the first time that I was a WAP. My family lineage comes from the Mayflower, but being in this Georgian environment, and I was vegan at the time, which didn't help. They were so putting myself in these different situations where I'm learning about all these different things. Where if I had just lived in Washington State all my life in Tacoma, I would have never truly understood that people think differently. I mean, people read right to
Yep.
left to right, up to down. There's so many different cultures out there. And then I got to move to Florida. I got to move to New York City. I lived there for 3 years, where people were telling me I needed to get out, that I was too happy there. If you live in Manhattan, your risk of heart attack or heart disease increases 50% just if you ever lived there, ever. So that whole energy was so super, super fast, where Georgia was very, very slow. And then I lived in Northern California, where everybody thinks that they're superior to everyone, but all the people in New York know that they're really the smarter people. So because I've lived all over, and I got to have a friend that I worked really closely with who's Russian. And so I've been exposed to so many different cultures and geographies. And so I feel very bilingual in my ability to understand. Like, some people think if you don't speak proper English that you're not smart. What a disadvantage is that, to have that kind of a mindset where you don't understand because you've never been anywhere. You just think this person's slow. No, they're not slow. How many languages do you speak? So it's I feel very lucky that I've been exposed to all those things. So for me, just being patient and listening to someone is how I do connect. And as much as
Hmm.
we do have to judge, because if I can't judge that this is a computer and I'm have to figure out every single thing, it's going to take forever just to function in life. But to just be present. And my business style is one on one, right? So I don't have to worry about trying to figure out this whole um, mob or
Yeah.
something. So I can just be present there with someone and figure out if I like them, if they like me, can I help them, and then on to the next, and not waste anybody's time, because I did live in New York for a second. So
Yeah, I mean, I've lived in New York and I love the city. I mean, it does actually not wait for anyone. It is fast. However, I sometimes feel that if you are there, like let's say at 2 a.m., it's just Times Square that's bright. I mean, it's just that area that's like bright. It works 24 by 7, but the other part of the city does sleep. It's not, it's very active, but not totally active. Like 24 by 7, it's not all the entire city is not buzzing with that
yeah,
energy. Of course, a few areas are, and you can say that those areas add on to the entire energy that the city emits.
yeah, yeah,
So yeah, that's what I feel about the city. I mean, so it's beautiful. Like when you're in Manhattan, it's just at the center of it, just looking at all the buildings, you just feel that like you're so mortal.
yeah. Yeah, I was lucky enough. I was trained in classical ballet, and then it's been a few years since I've gotten the chance to dance. When I lived in Manhattan, I lived right across the street from the Alvin Ailey Dance Studio. So my view on one was the Hudson, and then the other was all these dance classes. It was just like, oh, yeah, I could not have fantasized a better New York experience. So,
That's beautiful. Which also brings us to an interesting segment that we do called as 90 seconds to teach me something. So if I give you 90 seconds, what would you like to teach?
okay. So if we go back to Drunk Monkey, we always want to circle back to get to
All
dial in
right.
your message as clearly as possible. What you want to do is start collecting words. And what that means is your ideal client sent you a text about how great you are. Do not just go, oh, yay, thank you, thank you. Take a screenshot of it, put it in Dropbox. Same thing on your LinkedIn page, your recommendation section. LinkedIn and any social platform is not a right. It's something that you have the use of now that could go away. So you want to take screen grabs anytime you have positive words, because that's social proof. I mean, with AI we can, fake it and all that stuff, but still, they
Hmm.
are the ones that you have that are real. Just make sure you're collecting. Then when I'm on calls with clients, I'm recording. So if this were a sales call right now, it would also be recorded.
Hmm.
And if you said something about what your wants and needs are or questions, those questions could turn into FAQs for the website. The words of what you want and need, we could use AI to evaluate that, to drill down on different offers and things, and start data mining. So now, this is not a sales call. You are my ideal client and you got these great results. You said some wonderful things. Now I can go into that Dropbox with all those messages that you sent me over the years and create a wonderful
Hmm.
testimonial. Also, those words can be repurposed, which is inside my freebie with the AI. Take those words and put them into that prompt that I have in lesson two, to help you have sort of a cheat sheet guideline of the words that will trigger your ideal clients to want to reach out to you, to make your LinkedIn page super sticky,
Hmm.
to make your messages convert better. 90 seconds?
Apt on
Yay.
point. This thank you for sharing this, and it's actually gold because anyone who wants to know that what exactly should my message look like, people don't understand what I do, ask people, get feedback and use their words to
Right.
refine. So I think that is the best refining
Mhm.
strategy. And since now you have AI, put that feedback into ChatGPT, ask ChatGPT to make it simpler, so simple enough for people to understand what you're talking about.
Right. Simple. To me, that exercise of simplicity is usually when they're your words, thoughts, and feelings, and the what you think your client thinks. When you do have their actual words, then what we're trying to do is strip away anything that's about me. Like Elisa's so nice and Elisa's so helpful. That's not a result, right? Elisa helped me. I got 275 times ROI in the first year of working with Elisa. Like that's a quantifiable thing. So little chunks of results, and those words you want to keep and try and not let AI scrub it away, because it will sanitize it
Hmm.
and scrub away the actual words and intent. Which the way that I think about it is, well, it's kind of like mirroring, if we match each other's tone and tempo, maybe you're tilting your head, I tilt my head, we feel more comfortable with each other. When you say something, I use those same words, you're going to feel comfortable. When your ideal client says a word, other ideal clients are going to feel comfortable with those words. So just make sure that list that you're
Hmm.
keeping of your clients' words, that you don't let AI completely scrub it away. Let it make it all clear and
Yeah.
everything, but then keep circling back to your client's words so you still have that original doc.
Oh, yes, absolutely. And when AI scrubs it, it's like that emotion or that true meaning behind that testimony changes
Yeah,
somewhere. So I agree
yeah,
with you. Like that essence of what they actually felt because of the service that you offered or the experience that they had with you while you were working with them, is their experience, and I think that should stay pious.
Yeah. 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 Just remember garbage in, garbage out. So we're all learning to use AI better, but your clients' words are golden. So keep those.
This is the goal that you've shared right now, and thank you for sharing that. And I would love to like record a second podcast and talk so much more about sales
Sure.
strategy and a lot of aspects which we have you've been like touched right now superficially or maybe some points, but we'd love to go in depth as this has been an enriching experience for me as well. Is there something that you would like to share which you feel was missed in the
Was
conversation?
missed? You're very thorough. I would not, no, I would not judge you in that way at all. No, great job. And I haven't seen anybody do all these additional steps that you did. Those are insightful questions. So nothing missed.
And as we part ways, is there a message that you'd like to talk about?
Um, no, just listen to yourself, keep a diary of things that you're inspired to do. Sometimes when people have too many ideas, can be overwhelming. Yeah,
Overwhelming.
but just remember that you are the only person that can truly know what's best for you. So as much as we get excited and we share all the things that we're up to, and we want our family and our support group to be as excited as we are, just know that you ultimately are the driver of that bus, and only you can really know. You and your higher power can really know what's the best thing for you. So just keep at it. Keep at it. Don't lose faith, and know that things don't go like this; they go like this. So you're going to have some ups and downs, and that's okay too.
Wow. Thank you for sharing
Yeah.
this. This is indeed
Thank
motivating, and knowing that the bus is yours and the steering wheel is yours.
Thank you, Yukta. Very, very fun talking to you today.